In this episode of the Trophy Dash podcast, I'm interviewing the 2023 qualification winners, the Cutters and Alpha Chi Omega. We get to hear a little bit about their qualification attempts, how they planned for it, and how they're going to use it to build momentum through the month of April. Hope you enjoy it. Today on Trophy Dash, we're going to do a quick little qualification episode where I got the Cutter seniors, Peyton and Torin. Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, doing good.
Yeah, definitely. We're doing well.
Yeah, congratulations on the pole position.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Tell me a little bit about you guys. What year in school are you? How many little fives have you done?
So I'm Peyton. I'm a senior. Graduating in May. This will be my third little five this year.
Okay.
I'm Torin. It's all the same for me. I've been in two little fives. Missed the 2021 because of COVID. I'm going into the third and final one for me too.
This is your second time doing like a regular quals, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, 2021 was a really weird year through and through. So it feels like this is more of our second little five in a lot of ways.
Yeah. What was different about this year's quals for you guys as compared to last year? Well, tell me this. Were you guys trying to get the pole? Was that a goal?
Yes.
Yeah, we wanted pole really bad this year.
What'd you get last year? Do you remember?
Third.
Yep, we got third place.
And it wasn't a real qual in 2021, but we got second. So we've seen all the other spots on the front of the grid, and we wanted the pole position.
Yeah,
pretty bad.
Why was that the goal this year for the team, for you guys?
There's a couple of reasons. I think one of the biggest ones was that we wanted to set a precedent for the race and for spring series. We wanted to come out and show that we have what it takes to win this year and go for it.
How does qualifications kind of represent that for you guys in the team?
One, it puts us at the start of the pack. Like, we got to start in front of the race and be where we want to be. And also, it's like quals is a very good 4-person team, for everybody. Get to put everybody against each other and see what happens.
Yeah, I think the idea is starting first, finishing first.
So that sounds like a good mantra. What'd you guys do differently than last year when you didn't get the pole, but I'm sure that was your goal last year as well.
I think another year of practice and confidence. We got on doing exchanges earlier this year. And also just there's a bit of a mindset switch. I think we were going into this year far more calm, far more together as a team. The event was also just less cold. And, I think you going into it, when you're more comfortable, you're just calmer and perform at a higher level too.
Yeah. I will say this year too, like last year, it felt like we were there and we were ready for quals until it actually came the day of. And it felt like for some reason we underperformed and didn't quite have that like extra edge that it takes to win. Whereas this year, like, I think it was just a little more of the little things that we did this year that kind of played into us showing up on, quals day and really having what it takes and being confident that we did have what it takes.
Yeah, where those little things come from? Just another year of maturity. You're a senior now. Like, how that develop?
I think it developed the whole year. Like at the very start of the year, we knew we wanted to go all in for this race. And I mean, I feel like we knew we wanted to win pole position from the beginning of the year. And I mean, from there, it was like we built our relationships up on a team. We always brought each other up. We always got our bikes clean. We always had our equipment ready. And coming down closer to quals, it was like we visualized, we trained for it, we thought about it, we did all the like little extra stuff that you can do.
I think it's very much being mentally prepared to win. Last year, we were a very strong team, but it seems like whenever it came time to compete, we were always underperforming what we could do in practice. Whereas this year, we train really hard, but we're also overperforming when we compete compared to what we do. And I think that's just having the mindset of walking into every competition, knowing like we're here to win and we're here to compete. So
yeah, Peyton, you mentioned earlier about you really focusing on exchanges this year and getting them kind of dialed in. Like, what did you do differently, and how did that extra work come about?
Well, part of it was, just practicing exchanges with our team before the track even opened up. Um, other teams will say we went to the secret cutters track to do those exchanges, but there is no track. It's you just find some gravel, find some dirt, and it's a great way to kind of get ahead on exchanges.
You think that helped for this year?
Definitely. Starting exchanges early, I mean, it's honestly just the more you do, the better you are at it, kind of thing. If you can get it to the point where it's just muscle memory and you don't have to think about it, makes it a lot harder to mess up and when all the pressure's on you.
Right. How'd you guys choose your qualification order?
We did a test basically. One night we went to the track. I mean, like all through the year, you kind of like learn who's doing well and stuff. But we did just make a final test where we had everybody run one fly lap and everybody run one lap where we did a standing start, and we just kind of compared the times, and the fastest guys that we trusted went. We chose them.
And then saddle height fills in the middle.
Yeah.
What was the quals order for you guys?
We went. I started with the fly lap. I went to Judah Thompson, who's a freshman on our team, and then he went to Danny Galliini, who's a junior, and to Peyton as last.
Okay. Peyton Torrin, talk to me about the weather. It was a windy day in the 40s, off and on rain. Like, did you guys did the weather bother you? Did it affect your quals run?
The weather did affect our quals one. I think no matter what the weather was, we were gonna do what we came there to do. But as far as the weather on that day, it was a huge deal. If you look at the conditions, like every hour that day, it was almost always different. Some had rain, some had bigger gusts. I mean, I know on my run, I feel like I got a huge gust when I was on the tailwind stretch, and I know that probably helped me a little bit too. So weather's one of those things where you can't really predict it, and it plays a big part. You just kind of got to show up with the mindset to win no matter what. But one thing this year that was nice is we went really hard for fall series, and that allowed us to pick our time for quals. I think that played a big part in us being able to choose a good time with the weather.
What was your strategy on that, picking the time?
Main thing was just like looking at it a week in advance. You can't tell too much, but there was a lot of rain going on earlier, and it seemed like it was going to stop raining. So I figured that later in the day it would give the time or the track time to dry up, and hopefully we'd have a little bit of a better track for us.
Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't.
Yeah.
This year it worked for you guys. Your qualifying time was 2 minutes and 26 seconds, 0.5. That was quite a few seconds ahead of second place. Like, why such a big margin, or how did that come about?
I mean, I think on the day we, like I was saying, overperformed in competition. That was faster than we had done in practice earlier in the week. I think conditions also played a part. In that, like Torrin was saying, conditions were varying. But at the same time, I think it just came down to, on your first run, you get to roll some dice and try and really push your exchanges and optimize the speed. And thankfully, thanks to all that practice, the dice rolled well, and we got all our exchanges off, one and done, and we were able to kind of use those aggressive exchanges to save us some time.
Yeah,
that was definitely a big part of it, because I know my first exchange, me and Judah almost faulted. We were real close, pushing the limits of it. But that's also a reason we were going so fast.
Yeah. So now you've got the green jersey. How does that feel for you guys, wearing that on race day?
Feels really sweet. I haven't worn it yet, so
Yeah, feels good.
Yeah, but something you guys have earned, right?
Absolutely.
You got to put 4 laps together.
Yeah. When Torrin and I were sophomores in our first race, we were in yellow, and that was a jersey that we inherited from a team before us, and so that felt like a jersey that was not really ours to wear in a lot of ways, and so it's very nice to go into this race wearing a jersey that we can be proud of, for something that we earned.
Now, does getting the pole position add extra pressure to the season, to the spring?
Only pressure that we put on ourselves a long time ago, I think.
Yeah. The,
Yeah, we wanted this. We came into the year wanting this, and now that it's here, we're ready for it.
I think green was always part of the plan, and so having it now does not add to the pressure.
Gotcha. Yeah. You also get to pick your pit selection, right? What pit you want to track. What pit you guys end up selecting since you got to go first?
Pit number 33. It's the one right before the start finish line.
Oh, okay. So a little bit different than cutters in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah. Historically, we like turn 1, but this year trying something new.
Always
You know,
helps.
it helps to have your fan section right behind the start finish line when you cross first. That's the idea. It's for the photos.
Yeah. So how do race day exchanges differ from quals day exchanges, and what do you guys think about the difference in those two?
Quals day exchanges are definitely a lot more calm and collected, I'd say. Like the lines are a lot, you have a judge looking right at you. If you mess up at all, it's going to be called. I think on race day you're given a little bit more leeway with it, so you can come in a little bit hotter, maybe be a little bit smoother, but I guess that'd be the main difference, I'd say.
It's something that we've actually, practiced a bit more this year, just because last year we spent so much time working on quals that coming into the race, our exchanges were pretty conservative and not as fast as they could have been. And I think that ended up costing us time in the race. So
there you go. It's always good to learn from those things, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, anything else about that day, about that goal, about achieving the goal?
It was fun.
Yeah.
I think when you're performing best, you're having fun. And that's what we were doing.
Always fun to win. Yeah. Well, congratulations again on the pull. Obviously I was there. And it was really exciting to watch you guys execute and actually achieve the goal you set out for yourself. So it's like I said, I'm proud of you then. I'm continue to be proud of you, and I look forward to being right there with you the rest of the month.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Thanks,
Thanks for being on Trophy Dash. Hope
Yeah.
to see
See you
you
soon.
guys back on here more.
Yeah.
All right. Peace. Love you.
Peace.
Bye.
Alpha Chi Omega. Congratulations on the 2023 poll.
Thank you.
Thank you. Feels pretty good.
Exciting.
Looks like you just got back from track practice. Still your kid on.
Yes, we did. Yes.
I showered already.
Yeah.
But
We were
yeah.
eating dinner.
Yeah, dinner.
Do you ladies live together?
Yes.
We do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We are the 3 seniors on the team, so we have been through it since sophomore year together, and now we're all roommates too. So we got half the bike team lives in our house. So.
Yeah.
And how many qualifications have you done each?
So our sophomore year, they did team pursuit instead of actual qualifications, but the 3 of us rode in that, and then we also rode in quals last year as well. So that was our 3rd qualifications.
Yep.
So the second time doing it like this.
Yeah. Second normal quals.
And was the pole position a goal for the team?
It definitely was, since we hit second place last year on our 3rd try. Our coach Dave, he gave us the option. Do you want to push it? Do you just want to play it safe? Last year we pushed it. The question was the same this year. Do we push it or play it safe? And we wanted it, and we got it. So it was pretty exciting.
Yeah, I guess without a full field, unfortunately, there's not a lot of risk to pushing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And did you have a time in mind, or just to go as hard as you could and see where it fared at the end of the day?
We actually had a pretty solid practice quals time, and so that obviously gave us the confidence to go for a time. Obviously the conditions were a little bit rougher that day, and we wanted to kind of play it safe on our exchanges just because the conditions were a little bit rougher. And we obviously try not to think as much about the time, but more about like keeping the exchanges clean, keeping like the actual speed of our laps solid and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, definitely we wanted to go for a faster time because we saw in practice quals that we were capable of it. So
Yeah, and we definitely wanted to beat our time from last year too. So I think that was kind of like our starting benchmark since we did have 3 returners. We were like, we know we can do better than that. We've all, grown as riders. So that was kind of, I think, like our starting benchmark.
Well, do some introductions. Tell me your names so I can put a name to the face.
okay, well, I'm Jenna Rogers. I'm a senior, and I guess this will be my 3rd year racing for Little 5. So yeah.
I'm Claire Bruin. I'm also a senior, and this will also be my 3rd year racing.
Mm.
I'm Leah Anderson, also a senior, and this will also be my 3rd year racing.
Oh, that's a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did that experience help you get from 2nd to last year to 1st this year?
I definitely think so. I also think just with having so many races, regardless of if it's actual Little 5, spring series, fall series, that kind of stuff, I think having those amount of races under our belt and just being on the track so much kind of helps with our confidence. Like I think the 3 of us especially feel super comfortable on the track and like in our abilities to exchange, sprint, all that kind of stuff. So I definitely think that the experience has really helped.
I think like all 3 of us, like we were all said, like we were so calm that day because we just like have our routine that we do for each race, and like we know exactly what we do. We know exactly everyone's like little routine that they have to do personally. So it was kind of just like, it felt like it was normal, just like another day.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be a nerve-wracking event, but it sounds like you kept it pretty calm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and it's a quick day. I mean, it's only hopefully under 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
So it's like, a quick turnaround. It happens pretty fast.
Yeah.
But feels good doing it.
The lead up to quals, there was a couple really busy track sessions like Wednesday, Thursday, a lot of teams out there exchanging. It got a bit chaotic, but I did notice your team was consistently nailing those exchanges.
Oh, well, thanks. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, we're trying to squeeze some in there.
I know, definitely.
While being careful at the same time, our coach always says, don't push it if you feel like the track will be a little bit dangerous that day. So we were trying to be careful with them. That's for sure.
Who taught you to do exchanges? Like, do you have a unique way of doing them, or like?
We get taught a certain way during rookie week, but we luckily usually have some AKOs on RC during rookie week. So we do it a little bit differently than they teach us. But usually you learn from one of these 2 or someone that's a little bit older and has some experience.
I was gonna say I'm actually on safety for Riders Council, so we're in charge of like the curriculum for rookie week, and usually it's like one hand on the top, one hand in the drops to get off. I guess the only difference that we have is we just both start and end in our drops. We usually never go in our tops really for anything. And all of our rookies do that too, and like that's what they've been most comfortable with. So I definitely think like we've just gotten used to that. Plus the 3 of us are so used to exchanging with each other that incorporating the rookies in our exchange routine kind of thing wasn't super hard to do. So that was nice.
And I think it makes them feel comfortable as well, just because we have that confidence and we're comfortable doing those with them. So it makes them feel comfortable going into it and maybe not as scared.
Yeah, it's a frightening thing that first time you got to jump on the saddle.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It is scary, especially in front of like a big crowd of people, like during quals, whenever you're kind of in the hot seat jumping on by yourself. It's a little nerve-wracking.
And you had a lot of sorority sisters out there cheering for you.
Yes.
We did. Yeah.
We have a nice little fan section.
We
definitely do.
It's a blast.
And I was gonna say our house loves it. Like quals Little 5 time of year is honestly probably the most exciting time of year in our chapter, just because the girls just really love attending all the races and like being involved in riding and stuff. And honestly, that helps us too, just know that we have such a big support system. So that's been awesome.
It does help. Why was the pole position a goal for the team? Like, why did it matter? Like, why were you aiming for that?
I think mainly the reason that we were aiming for pole position, I mean, obviously it is important, but at the end of the day, like quals is only 1 lap and it just determines kind of our pit and our jersey. And like, at the end of the day, like it's all about our skill and all that stuff, not necessarily what pit we're in or anything like that. So I think the main thing for pole position was it's almost like a confidence and esteem builder, just because like we want to establish ourselves on the field. We want to, I mean, this year, we're coming to compete. So, I mean, we want to be a competitor on the field. And I think like being in that pole position gives us sort of a sense of confidence. And I also think it helps our rookies too, because I think our rookies haven't really seen how hard their hard work has paid off yet. But I think us getting the pole position, they're like, oh crap, like, all these workouts and stuff that we're doing are actually, reflected in races. So I think that it's definitely really helpful for everyone's self-esteem.
How did you pick the qualification order? And what was the order of the team? Like, who went first? Was it one bike?
Yeah. So it went Grace Howard, who's one of our sophomore rookies, and then who passed it off to Leah, and then passed it off to me, Claire, and then I passed it off to Jenna. So we kind of switched it around from last year, kind of just based off of like personal strengths. Like Leah has great footwork for exchanges, so we knew like she was gonna do two. Grace, like being the rookie, we put her in as number one, and then just like Jenna can get up to such fast speed that we were like, rather than slow her down for an exchange, like put her at the end so she can just not slow down and go straight through the finish. So I think it was kind of like based on a lot of like our strengths and like what people can do and how we support each other to make whatever they're better at, put them in that position. So it was kind of, and we tried a few different like combinations, but I think too, because we all practice exchanging to each other and switch it up so much, that it didn't necessarily matter as much who was exchanging, because we just all were used to just, we get everyone on the team, cycling through, practicing quals. It's like everyone's gonna ride in quals. So then when it comes down to the final four, it was just like everyone was already comfortable exchanging with everyone. So it wasn't too big of a decision to make.
Got it. What time of day did you ladies qualify? Was it
12:35?
Yeah.
12?
It was ended up being a little bit later because they were running a
Yeah, it
little
was
bit
like,
behind. So it's probably more like 1 o'clock-ish.
Yeah.
But
There was a rainstorm that came through.
Yeah.
There was. It was right when we were actually biking over from AKO to the track.
It started pouring.
It started pouring
poured on
down.
us. We were soaked.
We were soaking wet.
It was
So
terrible.
We kind of went back back and forth from the
Yeah.
bathroom and just outside watching the track conditions a lot. And
It got really cold.
It got really cold, but we actually got lucky.
Yeah.
The sun came out, the wind kind of chilled out for a little bit right when we were going, and I think it was honestly one of the best times of the day.
Yeah. It ended up being okay. The wind was pretty intense, but
all day.
it's always pretty much intense
Yeah.
at the track.
The back stretch is never pretty.
Yeah.
So
I think we practiced in worse.
Yeah.
So we got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did the wind affect the exchanges at all? Having the tailwind on the front stretch, pushing
Definitely,
everything.
yeah. We had to play it very cautious, which I think most teams did. We were watching other teams go before us, and you could tell everyone was slowing down pretty early. Because there were also a lot of teams that were faulting, which we kind of, prepared mentally that we were going to have to slow down just a bit more than usual. So, we definitely had to slow down coming around the fourth turn a lot more than usual.
I think also too, like last year, all three of us rode in quals and we faulted twice and then had to go a third time. So we kind of like already were aware of like what we had to do to make the change, because we had experienced it and like understood the wind. And so I think that knowledge and experience definitely like helped us to like make the change and then execute as well.
How does the sorority feel about wearing green on race day?
I think that they're pretty
Yeah, I
excited.
Excited. There was one comment that someone said they're gonna look like a bunch of leprechauns, but green is a great color.
I mean, it's a great color to wear on race day. So I think everyone's excited too. I mean, obviously, wearing green is like, look at us, we won quals kind of thing. So I mean, it's definitely it gives us kind of a sense of pride just to know, like, this is what we've accomplished kind of thing. So
hopefully we can potentially have the option to wear the white jersey. So hopefully,
that's still in the cards.
That's still in the cards. Maybe white. We'll see, but green still feels pretty good.
Yeah.
That's right. And it also allows you to choose your pit for race day.
Yes. Yeah.
Where'd you end up choosing?
We are in the last pit on the front stretch. So
right by
turn one.
Yep.
Yeah. You must have a strategic reason to pick that one.
Yes.
Yes.
I would say. I would say so. I was gonna say our coach definitely like he had a lot of advice kind of thing. Dave Harsa obviously he was on Fiji's team whenever they won, and so he's got a lot of great. And he's coached AKIO for over 10 years at this point, so he's got a lot of good race insight, and like he really wanted us to take that pit. So, yes,
Looking forward to it. Yeah, we've never been down that far before, so we actually went down there today for the first time and felt a little bit different. Usually we're kind of stuck in the middle somewhere, but we're definitely looking forward to pushing the exchanges a little bit further ahead and getting a clean exchange zone. So it should be a good spot.
All right. Well, you've got individual time trials tomorrow.
Yes.
Competition on Saturday. Hopefully you can carry this confidence and momentum through the week.
definitely.
I agree.
We hope so, yeah.
I think we're pretty excited.
Yeah,
I
We
mean,
are, yeah.
I think also just, I mean, obviously we've reiterated a handful of times, like since we are 3 seniors and like we've done this before, we do feel pretty calm whenever it comes to participating in these kind of races. But I also just think like our main thing with our team is also like we just try to make everything fun and enjoyable, because one thing, I mean, you know, you don't want to be miserable or like dreading going to track practice or dreading your races or anything like that, because then that just sucks the fun out of you know, being a part of Little Five. So I think that's another thing, like we get excited for that kind of stuff just because like at the end of the day, I mean, they're collegiate bike races and they're there for fun, like competing and all that kind of stuff among like other IU students is exciting. We think it's a good time. So we're definitely excited and ready to go.
We are, AKIO has definitely been a team in the past, always to just, you know, kind of pump it up and always have a good time. So we try to do everything as a team together. So tomorrow we'll all be at every ITT if we can, you know, same as missing out. So definitely try to keep that excitement regardless.
Yeah.
You've got some fantastic alumni. I'm sure they're pretty thrilled.
Our alumni are, they are fantastic.
Have you heard from some of them?
We actually have, I believe, 10 coming to Little Five. So a bunch are flying in. So we're getting really excited to meet a few new ones and see some old faces again.
Yeah, we have a giant group chat with all of them and they text us pretty much before and after every race, and they're like constantly checking in, and like one of them used to work out of Bloomington, so she would just randomly show up at our house to like see what we were up to. But we're really close with our alumni, which I think has been really helpful too, because they've got some great insight and obviously a ton of race experience as well. So it's always nice to have those kind of people.
Is that add extra pressure going into the month? The green jersey, extra attention from the alumni? How are you handling that?
I honestly don't think so, just because, I mean, we knew going in, like we wanted to get pole position or just, you know, somewhere up there. We knew that we were capable because we've put in so much work. So I think like going in, like, you know, the best way that you can kind of go into any race or anything like that is just to stay calm. So I think like, obviously we are excited and there's that, you know, anticipation of like, what's going to happen for all these races, what's going to happen, Little Five kind of thing. But at the same time, like, I think, you know, we've been working towards this and this is what we want. So then at the same time, like there is a little bit of nervousness, I guess, going into it, but it's also mostly excitement because we're like, this is what we've worked for years. Like we're ready to go. This is our last year racing. So we're ready to just give it our all.
Yeah. I think the AKIO hasn't won the pole position since 2014. So it's been a long time since we've been in this position, and all of our alumni, I think, obviously want us to do really well, but also, like I said, the whole entire keeping the excitement up and just having fun. They really are pushing just for us to have a good time and really just remember the moments that we've been making and everything like that. So they definitely want us to succeed, but all the pressure from them is good pressure. Honestly, it's all beneficial for us.
And it's like a really deep women's field this year. Like we have, I mean, there's so many like good teams this year that like we know are, you know, going to come out on race day, and like who knows what they're going to do. But I think this was like a moment of us to be like, you know, we're right there with the rest of you guys. So I think it's going to be an awesome race, and it's just, you know, a little bit of confidence, but it's going to be a fun year.
Well, it's hard to compete with somebody who's having fun. So.
We have fun.
We have a lot of fun.
So too much fun.
Too much fun every now and then, but yes.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
I look forward to watching it through the month, and we'll be cheering for you on April 21st.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Great. Well, thanks for your time, and loved hearing your story of quals.
Yeah,
Thank you.
of course.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Fun.
texting.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Cutters. Thank you, Alpha Chi Omega, for your time talking about Little 500 qualifications. Look forward to cheering for you the rest of April.